can carry on despite the market. Let me give you the quick background story to Aris Mining. We really started in 2009 when the same team started Endeavour Mining. And we spent about 5 or 6 years tramping around West Africa. During that time, we acquired 6 mines, built 2 and sold 2. We started off with $200 million. When we sold out, or when we moved on rather, the company was worth $2 billion. We brought a strategic investor in. I resigned, retired. After 3 days, my wife told me to get the hell out of the house and go and get another job. It was about the same time that Frank Giustra phoned me, and I'd been a partner with him for some time, and said, do it again, but this time in Latin America. So we started Lear Gold, the same team. We started Lear Gold. We bought a mine 3 in Brazil, 1 in Mexico, and about 2.5 years ago, we merged that with Equinox, probably with a bit of a hindsight too soon, but nevertheless, that's what we did. And we started Aris. Aris in Celtic language actually means again. And I assure you, this is the last time I'm doing it. I will enjoy Aris for a few more years, and then we'll carry on and do something else. So what is Aris today? Aris is a producing company. We are producing about 220,000 ounces this year. In the first 9 months of the year, we produced about 90 million of EBITDA. On a trailing 12-month basis, that's 120 million. We produced about 55 million of cash. And we have started constructing our second large mine, Marmato. When we started, we put 35 million together, we borrowed 50, and we had the 85. We were a private company. We went to Caldas Gold, who were running the Marmato mine, a small mine producing about 25,000 ounces, high grade, very, very narrow, small mine, with a large porphyry underneath it, that they needed about 280 to develop it. They were short about 80, so we turned up and said, we'll give you the 80 provided we get management control and management of the business. They gave that to us. We started doing the update of the feasibility studies, and we finished off with the getting the environmental permit just about 3 months ago, and we started construction of the mine last month. Additionally, in March of 22, we approached Mubadala, who owned the large Soto Norte project, an old Ike Batista mine, potential mine in Colombia, 5 million ounces, potentially 450,000 ounces a year. And after a long, boring negotiation of about 7 or 8 months with them, we acquired a 20% interest with the right to go to 50%, and we also acquired operatorship. So we're now trying to place that mine, going through its environmental process. We would resubmit the ESA later this year and try and bring that into construction. In September last year, we merged with Grand Colombia and took over the management of the joint company and the board of the joint company. We did this because this gave us the Segovia mine, which has been in operation for many years, and as I say, is producing about 200,000 ounces this year. So not only it was a cash generator, which went along with the rest of our business and gave it that strength, it also had been doing a very good job with the small miners in Colombia. And the small mining situation in Colombia is very, very particular. 85% of the gold that is mined in Colombia is mined by illegal miners. Industrial mining companies only represent about 11% of the production. The illegal miners, sometimes illegal because they've been a family working on an area without the proper authorizations and licensing, or because they're really bad guys who are up to all sorts of cocaine business at the other extreme. Best to keep away from those guys. But the small miners have 2 attributes to them. They only get about a 45% recovery on their gold, compared with our 90–95%. So there's a huge economic piece there that's left on the table. Additionally, they're using mercury and cyanide and polluting rivers. So clean mining only represents about 10 or 11%, which gives you some idea of the potential opportunity there is in Colombia for clean industrial mining. And we came to the conclusion, following on what Gran Colombia had done, Segovia has about 45% of its production comes from small miners, buying in material from small miners. And we realized that if we could partner with them, we could take the advantages that they have, being able to do very, very narrow vein small mining, had tremendous support from their communities. But if we could add to that our industrial capabilities, our access to capital, and our technology, we could form very, very good partnerships with them, which is what Aris set about doing. So we took the model that Segovia had and we've expanded it. We've become more partners with our suppliers and our true partnership. We're advancing money to some of the small miners. We're formalizing small mining groups. And this not only gives us a license to operate in that area, but I believe by doing it at Segovia, we've now started doing it at Marmato, and we can do it at Sote Norte, which will give us a much better step forward to get the license for Sote Norte. So that's the approach that we've been following. So in the last 2.5 years, we've done 2 acquisitions, we've done the joint venture, and we started building another mine. I think I may be running out of time soon. Am I okay? Oh, okay, it's a big time. Oh, I can relax. Okay, good. So the small mining program has been absolutely part of our new style and approach, and it's raised tremendous support from the ministry and also from the government. We took a group of small miners to Paris a couple of months ago with the Minister of Mines to OEDC presentations and things. A lot of the environmental work we're doing at Marmato is water protection, analysing the water protection in the area. We're working with 2 universities there. We're also working with the Colombian National Authority, Water Authority, and it's been selected, the project has now been selected by the Minister of Environment to take to Dubai in December for COP28. So our project will be Colombia's presentation, environmental presentation at COP28. And I'm going to have to go and speak there, and I'm not exactly an environmentalist, so I need to learn some jargon before I get there. But I will be with the 2 university professors who know enough to cover me. So that's the kind of thing we've had to do. We've tried to look at the issues in Colombia, use our skill and capability to see how we can bring commercial mining into partnerships with the small miners to get that license, to get that social environment. If we look at our reserves and resources, our reserves are 4.9 million ounces. Our measured and indicated 17.5 million ounces. And if you look at the profile, the boxes on the right, you see our annual production over the last few years, and you see the leap forward when we get Marmato built. And that will be about 400,000 ounces in about 2 years' time. And if you think about cash, which at the end of the day is the most important thing, the EBITDA we'll be earning, as I say, on a trailing basis now, 12-month trailing basis, 120 million. If we look forward at 1750 to the EBITDA we'll be producing when we're at 400,000 ounces, it'll be about 350 million of EBITDA. If you look at it 1900, it becomes quite astronomical. It's nearly 450 million. So the cash flow is there for the future. In terms of financing today, as I say, we're generating 55 million in the 9 months. We have 200 million of cash on the balance sheet, 210 million of cash on the balance sheet, and we also have a Wheaton precious metals stream of about another 120 million. So we have more than enough cash to do what we have to do. We do not have to go to the market, and thank goodness we don't in these markets at our share price. Segovia has been operating for many, many years, and you can see the resource and the reserve and resource level down here. We've just finished a drill program. We've got 90% of the way through. We've decided to extend it, but we have just come out with a new resource, which has increased our resource by just over 100%. We would expect the reserve to be finished at the end of the month, and we would expect to see a continuation there. So we have Marmato with a 20-year mine life, going into production in 2 years' time. We have Segovia, which has been producing for many years, with a much more extended mine life. Segovia is 14 grams a ton. Marmato is about 6. So we've got high quality, long life assets in those 2 assets. And this is the Marmato expansion. When we look at the project Soto Norte, the reserve is 5 million ounces at 6.2 grams. Indicated resource is 8.5 ounces. The feasibility study that was done in 21 showed 450,000 ounces a year at an all-in sustaining cost below 500. We're updating all the numbers now. As the project was shelved a couple of years ago for environmental questions, we've answered those questions now. Those are all being put into a package to resubmit in about December to go through the new process there. We have had a lot of support from the community. We have started a small formalization group, Carabineros, in the community, and that was part of our presentations in Paris. So we've changed the way we're looking at it from Mubadala, and when you think about it, Mubadala is a sovereign wealth fund worth 260 billion. If we were worth 260 billion, we would probably have the same attitude that they do, that if you own 260 billion, you are right. We don't. We're a mining company. We're approaching it differently. We're making sure that the environment is right. We're making sure that the political, the local communities and the small miners support us. So we have that going forward in the next few months. So we have a strong cash flow producing company. We have 2 assets with high grade, long-term mine life. We're working on our 3rd. Ultimately, I think we will look to other M&A transactions as we've done in the past, but at the moment our share price is just not the thing to do, to use that. We don't need to dilute the shareholders. We can build value on the assets that we have. We are fully financed to do so, and we look forward to continued success in Colombia.
Thank you. We've got a couple of minutes for questions, so I'll jump in with a couple.
That was bad of me to leave 2 minutes for questions, but go on.
That's great. The updated study, will that be a feasibility study again, or are you going to knock that back to a PEA?
Which one?
For Soto Norte.
PEA.
PEA. Okay, and what's the time frame on you being able to exercise that next 30% to get up to 50%?
We have until effectively we have the license to do that. So a few years.
And what's the cost for that?
We paid 100 million for the first, and this is 300 million, another 300 million.
So with you building Marmato and obviously funding that, that's the priority at the moment. What's the sequencing likely to be, or possibly?
Well, by the time Marmato is constructed, we should have the permit for Soto Norte. We won't have it before. So that flows very nicely. We'll then have the cash generation from Marmato as well towards that. Now, the capital cost of Soto Norte was programmed at 1.2 billion. We are looking at to see whether you can start smaller, where's the way to start, how to do it. We don't have to have a big splash. We don't have to build the biggest mine in the world. We're quite happy with one that's a bit smaller. So we're looking at the economics of doing that as we're going through the environmental process.
Okay, thank you. We've still got time for 1, maybe 2 questions, if there's any out there. Wait for the microphone. Yeah.
Just a quick question. Just wanted to know the big increase that you had in Segovia in the resource, the reserve. Can you just explain a little bit how that big increase was achieved relative to drilling and relative to, I guess, bringing up the cutoff grade, I guess, things like that?
Yeah, two things. It was the drill program, and we're spending about 17 million on it this year, and there was a similar amount spent the previous year. So it's the effect of the drill program, and we did an announcement on that a couple of months ago. But it's also because we brought in consultants because our senior geo wasn't quite sure that the resource was being measured correctly. So we brought in consultants to look at that, and they advised us how we should look at it. We got involved in things. I'm a finance guy, I don't understand cross-pigging and all sorts of stuff on the geo side, and came up with a new resource. 114% increase over what it was. And we're going to continue, whilst we've finished the drill holes that we said we'd do, we're doing more because we have a balance of the budget left.
What proportion would you say describe to that basic recalculation of the resource versus?
I'm told it's very difficult to say because you have to start again from the beginning. but it was, I understand, fairly well balanced between the two.
Well, great stuff. Thank you for the question, and thank you very much, Neil Woodyear.
Thank you.
And that concludes this afternoon's session. Thank you.